Alright, let's get this thing started. Alright, welcome back to the Angry Goose. Today, I'm hunting wussians. This is Cold Waters. For those of you familiar with Red Storm Rising, this is basically kind of sort of the sequel to it. Same sort of idea. Oops, share. Oops. Okay, just posting up some linky links. And let Rune of Orm know. Alright, there we go. Cold Waters. Red Storm Rising, back in the 80s on my Tandy 1000 SL. Love that game. This game has pretty much the same feel, same sort of idea, just updated. I'm playing this with the dot mod. Dot mod's a nice little mod, has a few features here and there, a little bit of realism. Again, like I mentioned, for anyone who's looking to get into any game, play the stock version first before you start getting into mods. Some of the things like the more realistic sensors, you will have a hard time finding diesels when they go quiet, because diesels are quiet. And they're hard to say. I've been forced to go active finding some of these guys sometimes. Anyway, I'm gonna start a new campaign. 1984 NATO campaign is your standard campaign. There is a 68 as well as in the base game, which is basically the older tech. A fair bit harder if you're not used to the old torpedoes. South China Sea brings it up to 2000, updated ships and everything, but the South China Sea is a little bit hard to navigate because it's shallow. Being a sub in shallow water is no bueno. And in the mod they've added this Russian North Atlantic for the 84, and they're starting to put together a British one, but the British torpedoes suck, so I won't. Anyway, so 1984 tensions build along the Iron Curtain. Warsaw Pact forces launch a devastating surprise attack across the Fulda Gap. This is what everybody was afraid of happening back in the day, is that specific attack. Central Europe is plunged into war and NATO nations struggle to push back. Resupply convoys from the United States are crucial to the war effort and must be defended. NATO naval operations assign you to the Norwegian Sea and North Atlantic in an attempt to maintain control of the situation at sea. Alright. Let's make a save file. Angry Goose Commander is Bob McKenzie. Alright, and we get to choose our boat. Now, to be perfectly honest, I cannot be arsed to take anything but the good old Los Angeles. Fast enough, quiet enough, new enough, enough torpedoes. Like the Narwhal, 2 wires, 25 knots, Sturgeon, the Permit, the Skipjack. It's just gotta do the Los Angeles. If you do the Russian campaign in the dot mod, there is like this leveling system where you have to get reputation points to upgrade, and you start off in the old diesel electrics, and you're going up against a lot of English diesel electrics, older modeled destroyers and whatnot. And unless that system is implemented in this mod, no, I'm gonna go straight to Los Angeles. Let's accept that. This is Portsmouth. Okay, good luck in my new command. Now this starts off with basically A10. That is an old plane, isn't it? Yeah. you know, it starts off with the Reagan era coming in, and you know, but it sort of takes some of these issues that were happening at the time and sort of, instead of them backing down, things ramp up. You know, this incident, something that happened, a civilian airliner. Missiles in West Germany. Evil Archer. I think that was an actual incident. Anyway, so Soviets attack, war declared. We're pretending that we went for a regular conventional warfare, not going straight to nukes, because that would be stupid. All right. So, tactical situation. Soviet submarines are attempting to break out North Atlantic. In the dot mod, this is always your first mission. It's, you know, transit patrol area green 011. In the base game, those areas aren't there, and you don't technically have to go to the area. Like, there's no mechanism in the mod or in the game that makes you fail for not going to the patrol area. But the patrol areas sort of give you a place to go and sort of almost guarantee that you're gonna catch your quarry. So the first one's always submarines trying to get out from mermanks, and you gotta stop them. All right, I'm gonna switch some things around because I like having. Drop a couple of the harpoons for a moss. There we go. Harpoons are not overly useful. I guess I could have. When I hit convoys after you get rid of the escorts. But really, oh, excuse me. They get shot down too easily. They're too slow. We'll stick to the 4 torpedoes in, cast off anchors away, and green 11. And you can see you're detecting a whole bunch of submarines already passing through the Spitsbergen SOSUS line and patrolling in. And I'm going to pop myself here and sit still. When you're, ooh, bugger. When you sit still, come on. Alright, I'll take him. Let's close and close. Alright, depth, you're 50 feet, 5 knots. When you sit still. When you're cruising slowly, you'll be a bit deeper at 10 knots, or you know, starting conditions. And when I'm going against a sub, like when you see the picture of the sub, it's only subs coming after you. I always like to clear with the radar, so being depth and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna hit all man's battle stations, and the first thing I'm gonna do is go straight to silent and drop the towed array so I can hear behind me.
On sonar, new rig ship for ultra quiet. Emergency surface the ship.
Oop.
Die by.
That's what happens when you have fat fingers.
Con sonar, new contact bearing 150. Designated Sierra 3. Raise the ESM mast.
Not the ESM.
Raise the radar mast.
I'll go back to this view. Okay, so 2 merchants
Con
on the
sonar,
surface there.
Master 2 is classified as merchant.
And that's our submarine. So what we have to do is see if we can identify a November. Yeah, a November.
Con sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as submerged submarine.
Conditions, he's below the duct, but I can still hear him. Deploying towed array.
Con, charging high-pressure air banks after emergency blow. Unable to dive.
Ugh. Under damage control.
Lower the radar mast.
Alright, let's put the planes down. Yeah, I only got the planes on the tail pushing my butt up a little bit. But the ballast, just about to even out. So yeah, you gotta be careful when you got
Con, high-pressure air banks charge complete. Ready to dive.
Alright, let's go.
Make depth 300 feet. Dive I.
Get under the layer. Conditions are unsafe. Yeah, it doesn't like deploying this far to the surface, or else the waves could damage it. There we go, deploying towed array. And there you see coming out there. Perfect.
Con sonar, new contact bearing
And
026,
there's
designated Sierra
another
4.
friend, which looks like another
Con
November.
sonar, Sierra 4 is classified as
There's also
submerged
deep.
submarine.
Alright, so now is to get this solution down here up high enough, especially that I can get direction. Now these guys are no match for Los Angeles. And there's two of them, depending how they're lined up. I'll have to decide now. I should be below. Okay, I'm below the thermal layer. So now it's just the game of waiting for my sonarman to get a good signal. What's the conditions? Ambient noise, 81 decibels. Not overly loud. And you know what? I'm gonna bottom her out. Straight down to 12.
Make depth 1200 feet. Dive I.
Get underneath them. Now, if anybody hops in on this stream or watches this video afterwards, this is Subsim. It's not to be meant to be overly exciting. Now, I do have a bit of update on this. Now, you can see here where I'm getting these updates where they're kind of moving. This guy's moving in, this guy's moving this way. You know what? I'm gonna go
Come right to 090, helm I.
turn here. And you do kind of have to be a little bit careful with your maneuvering. I don't know how much they have it modeled in here, but like moving your dive planes, moving your rudders, all things that submarines do that can make a bit of noise. Again, I'm not sure how much is fully modeled in this game. Because you see my self noise 120.4 didn't change. I don't know if there's a RNG for using equipment that it does or not. And actually, I'm not in silent, am I?
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Yeah, I'm not in ultra quiet. Let's drop that. And you should see my self noise number go down a smidge. Yeah, 114.3. That's better. Make it even harder for them to hear me. And Russian sonar equipment is, compared to what I have, is poop. So if I just take my time and I'm careful, I can get some close shots in, or I can get in behind them in their baffles. Baffles is a cone behind the submarine where you can't hear anything unless you have a towed array. Basically, all the sonar equipment can't see through your own sub to listen to what's behind you, and you got this big old propeller at the end that you can't really look through. So getting in behind them where they can't hear you move, they can't hear you shoot, they just, they'll be bipping along, then suddenly, boom, torpedo in the butt. And it sucks to be them. For excellent submarine information, and I'll probably put a link in my box to Subbrief. He's actually an ex-sonarman off of one of these Los Angeles boats, and he does a lot of great videos of not only playing Cold Waters. I think he plays mostly the base game. I think I've seen him do some dot mod as well, and epic mod, which is epic mod is a mod where they're just like trying to throw as many subs and equipment at you as possible, and slightly Russian biased. Like all the Russian equipment is sort of
Con, helm, steady course.
bumped up to where it shouldn't be. Alright, so my first Sierra 1, I have a heading on him. So distance, speed, I have his speed at 10 knots.
Con, dive at 1200 feet. Dive by.
Oh, no, let's Sierra 4. Let's click on Sierra 1. 10 knot, solution 72. So I'm getting close to a really good solution. Once you get above 85, you get some pretty accurate distance information. 8,000 yards, which isn't too far. There we go. Okay, you gonna update? Yeah, 4,500 yards. So now I just gotta keep it cool. You can barely hear me. So basically this here is sort of, you take my noise, the ambient noise minus my noise, plus the distance, plus the efficacy of his sensor system, and it calculates, and it says that, you know, I'm like 7 decibels short of being heard by his passive. So he doesn't have me as a contact. If we were to go active 24, he'd get a half decent bead on me. But as you can see, like 26 and 34 in the low frequency passives and the towed array. And I have a lower frequency active, which travels better, which means that if I ping him, I know exactly where he is. But my solution is 95. So that's basically as good as that's going to get. I do want some more information on this guy, though. But yeah, Subbrief, he does some of the gaming in there, but he also does a lot of explanation on subs. He does briefings on specific subs, tactics, how sonars really work, you know, how thermal layers work, bouncing, all that great stuff. I'll put a link under the video when I'm done here. Definitely. So if you are interested in anything submarine, interested in this game, like, share, and subscribe this video on this video, and go see Subbrief. You will not be disappointed. So I'm going to try to get behind him. I want more information on Buddy up there. I'm getting up to 55%. And he won't hear me. Now, minus 16, especially this guy, minus 5. If I launch a torpedo, they're going to hear it. Launching a torpedo is loud, pressurized air in the tube and stuff. Even if I shoot one of the tubes on the starboard side of the boat, Sierra 1 will definitely hear it. Firing on the far side of the boat might shield it enough from Sierra 4, but I'm not going to take that chance yet. Okay, bearing. Okay, I got bearing. I got speed. I got course. I just need a better distance. I have those two civilian ships on the surface. Unfortunately, I'm way too far away to make use of them. So sometimes you can get on the other underside of them or opposite side of them and just like get right near the surface and send a torpedo underneath from them. However, even if an enemy torpedo hits civilian, you will be docked points for war crimes. You get blamed for it because, well, you're the survivor, so. Alright, Sierra 4, 82. Should get an adjustment in position. 84 shortly. Come on, how far is he? He's actually pretty far up there. Like a 7-10 split. Alright, let's...
Come left to 045. Helm I.
I'm gonna flirt with Sierra in a little bit. Try to get in his baffles as quick as possible. Send a torpedo his way, which Sierra 4 will hear, but then I'll send one Sierra 4's way. And we'll just have to deal with it as it is. I wonder if I should go straight. No, straight north would be too close. $3,000 yards, 8,000 yards. Because I could send a torpedo real short into him, take him off the board, and then start knife fighting with this guy. Send a torpedo his way that I'm not going to be able to keep on the wire. I'll try to keep on the wire as long as I can, but he will counter shoot almost immediately. He'll just send 3 torpedoes in a spread towards me, or towards where he hears me launching the torpedoes. Sierra 1. The one thing in the programming of this game I don't like is that when I shoot in the baffles of Sierra 1, he won't hear it, which is fine, he won't react. The problem is that he won't react to his buddy going active and shooting torpedoes. For some reason, that's not programmed to trigger them to start maneuvering or go active or anything like that, so he'll just bip along blissfully ignorant and die without a fuss, even though his buddy's all like, "Ah, fatherland!" Now, what depth is Sierra 4? Around the 700. So So if he launch, what I might do is I'll launch on 1, launch on 4, and head above the duct. And try to keep my torpedo to Sierra 4 on the wire as long as possible. I think is what I want to do. And I see him, -3, I'm getting a little bit close. You know what? Yeah, let's do it.
Come left to 0, 0, 0. Helm I.
A little bit risky trying to cut in this close to behind him. And I'm going to make sure now the torpedoes lined up like these 2 torpedoes are on the port side. And these 2 are on the starboard side. If you launch a torpedo and try to aim it sideways, like it'll come out of the tube and then turn. And the harder you do that, the less chance you have of keeping your wire. But I will try to shoot the port ones, because sometimes you're able to keep it a bit better. -1. This guy's coming back in a bit, which is fine because I don't want to take a super long shot on him. Now, see, they're not running full because.
Steady course.
Thank you. They're going 10 knots, so they're not going quite silent, which is unfortunate for them. Okay. So torpedo 1 I'll send to him. We'll turn it active. This one I want to go active. Because if I keep it passive and he doesn't react, he won't hear it coming. By the time my second shot starts making it to Sierra 4, I might have to be dodging his torpedoes. So, which means I'm going to lose the wire in my torpedo, so I'm just going to set the guidance to active. It sounds like my pupper is being a turd upstairs. What I'm probably going to do is send him, go to periscope depth, and turn to 90. Actually, you know what? Both are at 700. You know, let's go up to 700. Let's line ourselves up, and
Make depth 700.
that'll reduce the time to service. Because that'll hopefully keep me above the cones of anything he sends down, depending on the angle that he sends it. See, 115. 130. Yeah, see. Equipment's being used on the sub, changing the rudder and the dive planes. See, the sound pops up a little bit. I because the dive plane, big metal fin going up and down. And also your sound changes with the depth. Oh. Minus 20. Am I going to get in your baffles? See, he's going up to 20 knots. Why are you going up to 20 knots? Minus 21. He may or may not hear my launch. But if he continues going in this path, I might get into both their baffles. I need to get into his, because he'll hear a launch right now. And the reason you can hear less when you're going faster is the water's rubbing on the hull. When you go really fast, it makes that swishing sound on the side of the hull that basically blocks your ears. Minus 50 in the baffles.
Shoot 2-1. Aye, sir. Shoot 2-2. Aye, sir.
Make depth 4, 9 feet, dive aye.
Alright. I want that torpedo to get right behind him. And you can see he didn't hear it.
Come right to 090. Helm aye.
So I'm going to leave the place that I shot. And keep an eye on where he goes. If he turns back around or anything, see he's slowing down. And he's going to come back. Whether he picks up the torpedoes quite yet or not, don't know. Now the torpedoes have two settings. Right now they're not a cruise setting. They're going a little bit slower, only about I think 30 knots, and then they go active up to 50 or 55 knots. I'll have to check the encyclopedia again. A little bit rusty. Yeah, let's see here. 2, which is fine. That guy, you know what?
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Yeah, I'm not close. You know what? That's one of my torpedoes. The other one. And that is Sierra 1. I do have like manual control here, so I'm just going to try to make sure it sneaks in directly behind them. Now the one thing the base game is that when a torpedo comes within a certain distance, even at the stern of a boat, there's like an automatic detect feature that it'll just detect it just because. Dot mod takes care of that, takes that out because the torpedoes behind you, there's no sensors behind you. A really good sonar man might pick it up at the very last second and go, what is that? But in reality, this is what you get. You get a whole lot of nothing in that dead zone behind you. And then death.
Con sonar lost. Contact breaking up.
Now, this guy might suddenly realize... Actually, let's turn it this way. Because what he's going to do once he detects that torpedo is he's just going to send torpedoes in the direction the torpedo is coming from. So if I send the torpedo that way while I'm going this way, he's going to shoot it down and I'll be clear.
Con, dive at 49 feet, dive by.
And he's also going to send them underneath me because, you know what, let's take the sensor off just in case. Actually, the fact that he's not hearing it yet, testament to the poor equipment and poor training. Right, send it in that way. Now the one thing though is that when you go to another camera, like you heard, you just kept on hearing the other November breaking up instead of heading back to mine.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Alright.
Con, sonar, launch transient from Sierra, Bore.
Yeah, he drops a noisemaker, drops torpedoes, and you can see here,
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
like he sent it down this way, which means the torpedoes will go behind and under me. Now this is where it gets interesting. And I mean, I can stay in this view and try to do it, but this
Con,
is where
sonar, Sierra, Bore is cavitating.
he's going to
Con,
go
fire
shallow.
control, weapon countermeasure homing. Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Is where it gets a little bit more arcadey, is controlling these torpedoes. Because I mean, November's not too hard, but when you get entangled with an alpha, that thing can turn and change depth on a dime. It's insane. But the one thing that Red Storm Rising didn't quite have back in
Con,
the day
sonar, noisemaker bearing 3,
is
2,
a really
8.
three-dimensional
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
aspect. Yeah, see, too late. Whoa. And
Con, sonar,
death.
lost contact. Sierra, Bore, last bearing 3, 2, 6. Contact breaking up.
Alright, so I got the 2 torpedoes, which go clear behind me, so I'm going to take the time to reload these 2 tubes. And same thing with dodging torpedoes. Like, I'll go in the 3D view so I can see where they're going and things like that. Is the one thing that gets a little bit more arcadey compared to Red Storm Rising. But that's because you are dealing a lot more in the 3 dimensions. And you set your planes and your ballast. You can set them manually to dive quickly or come shallow quickly. So that's a bit of a difference, but it's an interesting little bit. It really sucks though when you get into, especially attacking a convoy and surface ships. They go active right away, and if they get a sniff of where you are, you end up in what's called torpedo soup, where they launch a whole bunch of drop torpedoes from missiles on your location, missiles off the edge of the ship, and you're spending half your time dodging torpedoes, hoping the hell that yours actually hit. But sub on sub, it's definitely that really quiet. Okay, so this torpedo, I have nothing to worry about. This torpedo,
Make depth 200 feet, dive by.
I'm hitting the wrong button again.
Passing 100 feet.
Make turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering I.
Let's go full speed. Go to 600.
Con sonar, we are cavitating.
I know, but it doesn't matter. And cavitating, like, see that? Oops. Withdraw the towed array can't take high speed, so we'll bring it in so we don't damage it.
On. Towed array has been damaged.
I sped up too quickly. That sucks. But see all these bubbles? That's the cavitating. Makes loud swishing noises that can be heard forever until
Con
you get...
sonar lost contact. Master 2, last bearing.
Like you see my contact here?
8, contact faded.
That's because there's so much water just dragging along the hull. And
Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
there we go. Now the density of the water is enough that it doesn't boil right off and make that noise. Although I'm still, what's my self noise? 160. So basically I'm twice as loud as the background. Even November could hear me. I'm gonna head, let's head 45.
Come left to 045. Helm I.
Damage control parties. Late of the machinery space.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because you can't fix it from the
Con
outside.
helm. Steady course.
Bollocks. And basically it won't let me leave the area. Weapons nearby. So I have to wait. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up time. Hit F9, speed up time. Behind it. Come back down to 10.
10 knots. Maneuvering I.
On. Towed array has been damaged.
Ah. And this little light here, as soon as that light goes green, it means I'm clear to leave the area.
Come right to
There we go.
142.
Just so we
Helm
can see
I.
where the torpedoes are.
Con helm. Steady course.
And there we go. Green light. Leave combat. So 2 Novembers. 9,500 tons. Total array damage. It's my fault. Good experience and crew proficiency increase. That's one thing this mod adds is crew proficiencies. Basically, your sonar man gains experience. You get contacts faster. You know, better dive controls, etc., etc. Well done, but this is not your mission target. Alright. Bet you that guy is.
Rig ship for ultra quiet. Make depth 9 feet. Dive by. On. Towed array has been damaged.
Shut up. I know. Alright,
Con
conditions.
sonar, new contact bearing. 313.
Very
Designated Sierra
strong duct
3.
and a strong layer, which means that sound isn't traveling from here to here easily at all. Let's bring her up. Was it 55 then? No, 54.
Raise
There
the
we-
radar mast.
Alright.
Lower the radar mast.
And
Come
let's
left
turn
to
this way, and I
292. Helm
bet you
I.
bottom dollar those guys are below the layer.
Make depth 250
So let's
feet.
start
Dive
it down.
by.
Yeah, see, I have so little information. There, I have more than one. Oh, it's a... What are you? Charlie 2. Missile sub.
Con sonar, Sierra 1
That
is
is most
classified as
definitely
submerged
what they want me
submarine.
to kill, and that's probably most likely an alpha. Is a no? Alright, then it's one of the victors. Oh, he's on the layer.
Passing 200 feet.
Con
Okay,
sonar,
let's
Sierra
call
2
a
is
Victor
classified
2
as submerged
underneath.
submarine.
Victor 2. No, Victor 3.
Con sonar, Sierra 2
And
is
it is
classified
important to
as
get the
submerged
right
submarine.
identification, because if you identify it
Con sonar
right,
regained
it's much
contact on
easier
Sierra 1 bearing 008.
to get the correct information when you know what you're listening to.
Come
It's
right
at
to
45. 'Cause I
045.
think-
Helm I.
Are they southbound? Yeah, it looks like they're going southwest-ish.
Con, dive at 200 feet. Dive by.
Victor 3 is supposed to have a towed array. This is one glitch in the game. I don't know if it's the game or the mod, but when I'm behind him, I get a minus 50 on the towed array and he can't hear me. And his
Con
baffles,
sonar lost
which
contact.
is wrong.
Sierra 1 last bearing 008. Contact faded.
That Charlie is quiet. Charlie 2, a big nose with the missile tubes in it. Very quiet sub. I wonder if he went below the layer.
Make depth 300 feet. Dive by.
Because that's the thing, the Victor's going deep. But you can see that layer just is affecting my ability to hear that Charlie. But this is definitely the mission target. Because if that Charlie 2 gets out to the Atlantic, the Victor 3 can take care of escorts. Well, this guy, the Mulakit and Vuga, I don't know Russian missiles, take out convoys coming across easily, and
Con,
we don't want
helm,
that to
steady course.
happen. Okay, Victor 3 going 10 knots, so not surprised. That's their standard cruising speed.
Con, dive at 300 feet. Dive by.
16,000 yards
Con
is...
sonar regained contact on Sierra 1 bearing 006.
See, that's what I thought. He went deep too. Victor 3 120 is even quieter. Let's compare that to 140 for the November. It's one of their first nuclear subs, so there we go. Papa. Papa's a nice target. Okay, I've got course on the Victor 3. I know the Charlie 2 is going 10 knots because it is. And I know he's heading sort of southwest with the updates. But it's the distance. It's always the distance you need more than anything else. Because if that Victor 3 is as far as we think he is, Yeah, he's probably going to jump closer. Because for that quiet of a sub to get that good of a solution, he's got to be closer than I think he is. Okay, 85, and we'll get a distance update. Yeah, a lot closer than we thought he was. But you can see there, like, with the extra experience for the sonar, man, how much quicker that was than the November's. Just having that little extra experience. And it gets better and quicker as he gets more and more experience. Now you're still on the 700. And you're deeper. 10 knots. Yeah, -6, -2. I gotta be real cool around that Victor, because his sensors are much better than that November. Alright, approaching 48% on the solution. If I had the towed array, I might just get that much more information. Nail down where that Charlie is a lot quicker, but I'm still close enough to the UK. Depending on what the next mission is, I might dip in real quick for the repairs. If it's one of the possible missions is a landing party to like the middle of Norway, then I won't have enough time to go in for repairs. But if it's like Spetsnaz commandos to Iceland, I have time to do that transit and get to Iceland before they do, hopefully. That is a bad one to lose, because if the Spetsnaz commandos makes it to Iceland, you lose some of your SOSUS, the underwater sensor net. And you don't want that to happen. Okay, 10 knots, 58%. Heading just a little bit more southbound than the Victor. Wonder if he's between us and the Victor. If he is, it's going to be a couple. Well, no, I shouldn't need to snapshot everything. Yeah, because his sensors aren't quite as nice as the Victor. And really, that sub's not meant to hunt under the subs. Like, he's really relying on the Victor 3 to cover his butt for any kind of anti-submarine warfare. He's not meant to be able to sniff me out as well. Although he does have a low frequency passive instead of the medium. I'm just saying. Mark 50 cassette radar. Well, it's roughly the same equipment, except he has the towed array, which, like I said, in the baffles doesn't matter. See, -7. You might be close to where the Victor 3 is. You might be like here-ish. Down here. Once I get the proper distance, I'll See if I want to cut straight north again. Okay, approaching the 85%. 95. And no jump. Oh, a little bit further back than we thought. Okay.
Come left to 0, 0, 0. Helm I.
I might be able to get. I'm going to speed up time for everybody's sake.
Con, helm, steady course.
When you speed up time, which in this game is F9, you want to hover on F9 because you want to be ready to bring it back to normal time.
Con sonar, new contact bearing 348, designated Sierra 4. Con sonar, Sierra 4 is classified as submerged submarine.
This can't be another Charlie. It has to be another Sierra. 2
Con
escorts.
sonar, Sierra 4 is classified as submerged submarine.
That just made things complicated for me. Okay. 2 escorts. Okay then, let's see how this goes. Okay, and Sierra 4. Keep eye on. Oop. I bet you he is north of the other 2. Because if I hadn't, I would have heard him earlier if he wasn't. Question is, how far away is he actually? I'm going to match depth with the Charlie.
Make depth 650 feet. Dive by.
Because you have to remember the baffles, the cone of the baffles is 3 dimensions. It's a cone, 60 degrees either side and up and down. 43%. That's 5 minus 2 minus 7 minus 2. Okay, he's closer than we think he is right now because he has the same. It's one thing, like this calculation gives you a little bit more information than it should. So I do know that he's probably around here somewhere. Swimming a bit more information with the Charlie. And you can see they're bracketing him against the trawler just in case. Or I don't know if that's actually programmed in there, but it looks like what they're doing. Okay, 53%. Come on, give me more. Okay, I'm gonna speed up time a bit.
Con, dive at 650 feet. Dive by.
Right in behind. Okay. this work. Oh, this is going to be horribly fun. Alright, let's turn that off. And there's my wife printing something from upstairs. Let's,
Come left to 3, 2,
this way.
5. Helm I.
And yet, let's speed up the time a little bit, just to keep the interest going.
Con, helm, steady course.
Let's see how he's going straight west, creating some distance, which is not fun for me, because then it's hard to get into everybody's baffles. I don't know what my printer's doing. It's trying very hard to print a page. Alright, let's sharpen it in here. Let's go 2.9.
Come left to 2, 9, 0. Helm I.
Okay, so I'm behind him, and you see minus 50 towed. That doesn't make sense. I should be getting into his baffle soon. It's whether or not I can get behind him to make all 3 shots work. And I can't speed up at all. I go to 10 knots, he'll be able to hear me. It's really well, I guess he's tilted a little bit more. No wonder I'm not in his baffles yet. Speed up a little bit.
Con, helm, steady course.
Okay, his baffles. And hopefully he lines up with the other Victor.
Come left to 2, 7, 0. Helm I.
Alright, let's turn in.
Con, helm, steady course.
Baffles. Baffles. Come on. Come on. Baffles. Alright.
Shoot tube 1. Aye, sir. Shoot tube 2. Aye, sir.
I'll wait a bit for the third one. Because basically with this torpedo, like when this comes in behind the Charlie, it'll clear the baffles of the Victor. So I'm actually going to send him up this way. Let's wait a little bit for the third one. And again, what I'll do with the third one.
Shoot tube 3. Aye, sir.
Let's run it active so we can sprint it ahead. Now, hopefully to hit the Victor, I won't clear Charlie's baffles. And you know what? Let's head
Come right to
straight north.
0, 0, 0. Helm I.
Nope. Bad idea. Let's head south.
Come left to 180. Helm I.
Trying to make it so that that torpedo's sensors don't. You know what? Deeper, 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 deeper. Line it up again, so I don't pop out from above or below the cone.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Good.
Con sonar, launch transient from Sierra 4.
No, he detected this torpedo. Which means that Charlie might hear this one and react too. But he probably sent a torpedo this way.
Con
Unfortunately,
sonar,
I can't hear it.
noisemaker bearing 279. Con sonar lost contact. Master 3, last bearing 348. Contact is in the baffles.
No, he's not. Oh,
Con
M3.
sonar, noisemaker bearing 282.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Con, helm, steady course.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 261.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Con sonar, master 3 is cavitating. Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 288. Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 260.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Sorry, my friend, but you will die.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 292.
Con.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 4, last bearing 293. Contact breaking up. Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 257. Contact breaking up.
Con, fire control, weapon countermeasure homing.
Alright, you know what? Let's set you to active. Oh.
Con sonar, launch transient from Sierra 2.
Come left to 0, 0, 3. Helm I.
torpedo room, tube 1 ready. Make depth 4, 9 feet, dive by.
Alright, torpedo behind me. I'm thinking it's pretty deep, so I'm going to go shallow.
Torpedo room, tube 2
Hopefully
ready.
get above it. Now, torpedo 3 should be acquiring it soon. Come on. Okay, that one's running straight, which
Con
means...
sonar regained contact on Sierra 2, bearing 272.
Send the torpedo deep 2.
Con, fire control, weapon
Con
Thank
sonar noisemaker bearing 2.
Con, fire control, weapon countermeasure homing.
Okay, that straight-fired torpedo might not...
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
It doesn't have a search pattern. Okay, I might be safe from that torpedo. But I have to be ready to run at a moment's notice.
Con sonar regained contact on Master 3, bearing 350.
Countermeasure homing. Countermeasure homing. Trying to...
Con sonar, torpedo in the water, torpedo in the water,
There you go.
bearing 248.
Make turns for 3.
Con sonar, we are cavitating. Con sonar, Master 3 is cavitating.
And I got a wire break. Alright, let's dive and turn.
Passing 100 feet.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 3, last.
Passing 200 feet. Passing 300 feet.
Con sonar, launch transient from.
Passing 500 feet.
Bastard launch from a
Passing
missile.
6.
Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
Passing 700 feet. Passing 800 feet. Passing 900 feet. Passing 1,000 feet.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering eye.
See, now
Con,
I'm
torpedo
below.
room, tube 3 ready.
Con sonar, launch transient from. Con sonar, torpedo in the water, bearing 286.
Shoot tube 3. Aye, sir.
Make turns for 3 knots. Maneuvering eye.
Con, fire control, we've lost the wire.
Con sonar, torpedo in the water, bearing 227.
Con, knuckle formed. On, officer damaged. Unable to contain the flooding. Damage control. control parties. Lay to the engine room. Passing 1,200 feet. Passing 1,100 feet. Passing 1,000 feet. Passing 900 feet. Passing 800 feet. Damage control parties. Lay to the machinery space. Passing 700 feet.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Shoot tube 3. Aye, sir.
Damage control parties. Lay to the engine room. Flooding in the machinery space. Make depth 4, 9 feet, dive by. On. Pumps have been repaired. Damage control parties. Lay to the machinery space.
Bugger.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 2, bearing 277.
Shoot tube 3.
On. Our rudder has been repaired.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 276. Contact faded.
No, my propulsion's out. And that sucks. Too far away
Passing
from that
200
other
feet.
moss.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 3, last bearing 3.
Passing 300 feet. Passing 400 feet.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 2, bearing 275.
Passing 500 feet. Make depth 4, 9 feet, dive by.
I can't seem to get him back on that moss.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Con, aye sir. Shoot 2-2, aye sir.
There we go.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Yeah, that torpedo finally died. $10,000 yards.
Con, fire.
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 317.
And let's turn the other torpedo in. Because I've had enough of this fool. Alright, and I'm
Come
going to head
left
this
two,
way because I want to
one,
head away from my own
one,
torpedo. Because if I
helm
get
aye.
hit by that, I'm dead. Okay. Number one got fooled.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Con sonar, lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 321. Contact breaking up.
Alright, weapons nearby. That was a schmozzle.
Come left to 149.
And
helm
most of
aye.
it was my fault. Just to add insult to injury.
Con, torpedo room 2-1 ready.
Really? Now, I'm mainly doing this because I just want to get rid of this torpedo. Because if I lose the wire from it, it's no good flying around. There we go.
Con, helm, steady course.
Boof on the sea bottom. Along with the Charlie. Alright, and I just have to wait for enough distance from my torpedo. Or for it to die. There we go. Leave combat. Charlie 2, 2 Victor 3s. To rate propulsion in planes. Excellent job. Alright, keep the standby for their orders. Soviet subs sunk. Dun, dun, dun. Return to replenish stores. Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna try to sneak in here. Alright, so some subs made it out the North Atlantic. That's all fine and dandy. Diesel electrics, shipping along the Norwegian coast. Blue 49. Oh. Norway attacked. Dun dun dun. Alright, rearm and repair. Propulsion, weapons. Max those fully stocks, all systems. Brief. Status report, review orders. Blue 49. Blue 49. So it is those guys I'm trying to hunt. But I'm going to save. And I'm going to quit and call it a night. So that's Cold Waters. And that's me playing very poorly. And, yeah, playing very poorly. So I'll see you guys.